everyone, so today we're going to do a little review on this My Hero Academia card game. This says that it is suitable for players aged 8 and above. It is just basically a card game of 2 to 4 players. So it lasts about 40 minutes. It is basically where we must recruit superpowered students for your hero agency. Kind of replicates the series really well. Thing we've got is the student deck. This is a series of cards with, you can imagine, some of our favourite Class 1A students in there. It's got some really nice little things on, some stats that all come in really handy in the game. So what we have to do is, once these are shuffled, and they are, we draw 20 students and set them out in 5 rows of 4 students. That would look like this. Just to show you, I'm just gonna put out a few rows. So next up, we have these recruiter cards. Again, these have some stats on, and these are recruiters for the different agencies. So we've got some favourites on here too. And all we need to do is everybody chooses a random recruiter card. So I have chosen 13. So what you do once you've chosen your recruiter is you keep this one, but you get a little marker that complements the card, and that goes on top of one of the rows, and I can choose which row that goes on. So I'm going to put him just here, right in the middle. So from there, the next card that we have, or card type that we have, is the action cards. So they are these blue ones. On these, you can see that they have little actions. Sorry, that's moving upside down. Ooh. These are like little things that we can do. A lot of it's to do with movement, and there are different types of these. So we've got movement ones, we've got specials, and we've got attacks. Okay, so we've got lots of different ones there. So what we do is we deal 3 of these face up to each agency, and so I've got 3 specials. Obviously didn't do the shuffle that well. Got student files, recovery girls kiss, and capture tape. So they'd go somewhere around where I am so that I can keep an eye on those. We've also got the mission deck. That needs to be within reach of all players. So that needs to be to the side, and that needs to be shuffled too. What I really like about this game is when they give you little turn order cards. I think it's so helpful, especially to those people who struggle when they're picking up a game. It just makes it really quick and easy to get into the game and start going. In terms of turn order, the first thing I do is I can take one action card and I draw that. So I've got President Mike's roll call. So basically this says you may rearrange a row of students. So I just put that in my hand with all the other ones that I've got down here. And what I can then do is I can move my recruiter. Once the game has started, these guys get turned over. So much better. That was a massive struggle for life. So, as I said, so I've drawn an action card, and now it's time for me to move my recruiter. So I basically have to look along the top. Now, it's worth mentioning, already have 3 missions each. So I forgot to draw those at the start, but we have 3 missions. These are what we get points for at the end, and you can see that it requires different strength, speed, and intelligence points. So what I need to do is, I've got my missions. I've got to kind of go with the ones that are going to help me the most. So if I, for instance, look at something like this one, which is set a blockade, I'd need 4 of the speed points in order to clear that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my recruiter here, because as you can see, this character has 5 of those points, as well as other things. So I've draw my action card, I didn't want to play on it, I've moved my recruiter, and then what I would do is I would acquire the student in front of my recruiter. In that case, everybody else moves up more towards the front of the class where my recruiter is. And at this point, if I want to, I can complete up to 1 mission card. Now, what I could do is, you can see that I've got my 3 missions here. I could save this and kind of save it up and hope that next time I can get someone with a little bit more intelligence and add those together. In this instance, just for the purposes of showing you guys how the game works, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use this to complete this mission. So I've got enough here. It's a bit of a shame that these are a bit of a waste, but I've got enough here to acquire that. So now what I do is I keep that mission card because that is completed. This guy gets put into the area where we keep all the cards that are done with. Okay, that is really the end of my turn. As you go through, just some little things to mention. You can never have more than 7 action cards, so you would have to get rid of some if you have more than 7 at the end. Once I have completed a mission card, I also need to draw another one. So at all times, I keep those 3 missions. And like I said, you could go through the game acquiring different cards and then putting them together. So for example, if I acquired these 2 students, they have between them got 6 for intelligence, which means that I could have saved them up together and completed this mission. To finish the game, what happens is once all the class have done, that is the end of round 1. When all the characters are gone, we'd start and do a round 2. At the end of round 2, when all the students are gone, that is the end of the game. What you do then is, the first thing is you add up the points on your missions. So I would have 7. Obviously, it was the end of the game, I'd have a lot more. What you can also do as well is, if I have got any students that I haven't used, I get a point for each student that I've got left. So if I had this card free at the end and I'd not used it, but the game had finished, I would get a point for that student. Some of the action cards allow you to get popularity points at the end as well, and some of them obviously allow different things. So let's get into some of the things that some of the action cards can do. So first of all, ones like this, anything to do with movements, mean you can rearrange rows of students. So it might be that I decide to swap, if I'm going to move to this row, I might decide to swap these 2 students before I move, meaning that I get a higher card for speed. Some allow you to discard or swap students in front of any agency. So again, I could swap students and the rows they are on. That's really good as well if you're trying to keep the ones that you want away from other players. Some of them allow you to give +3 to certain things, so that when you do go on a mission, if you've not quite got enough, you can add 3 to any of those scores on the cards. Okay, so you could add that to any character. And then there are a few really, really nice ones as well, where you get to choose a student from the discard pile and place them in front of you. So if we had any that had already been used, I could swap a student and put them in front of me. So all in all, a really, really easy game. Like I said, the turn order card really does help because it tells you everything that you need to do for your turn. It is right, it does probably take around 40 minutes or so, which is really, really good. And I can understand why it's really easy for younger people to play as well, because it is really quite simple and all the instructions are really clearly labelled on all the cards. One thing to mention as well is that we have some special effects on student cards. So for example, with this card, if you use it to complete a mission, you can then put her straight back in front of you. You do not have to put her on the discard pile. There's also sometimes little things attached to missions. So for example, when you complete this mission, choose a student used to complete this mission and paste them in front of you. So again, things that allow you to kind of get those little perks and points back. So yeah guys, that is it. This is my first review, so hopefully the more I do, the more kind of things I get to know what you guys want to see and how you want these to go. But for now, like I said, really easy, simple game, and definitely one worth picking up. And I'll just show you one more time. This is what the box looks like. It is a really, really good choice, especially if you're into the anime. Super simple, super fun, and doesn't take too long to pick up or play. Bye guys!